Hello, so it's just me tonight. Becca's gone to work, so I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about planning a trip to Orlando. We've been fortunate enough to go twice, we being myself and my husband. We went last March for our honeymoon and we are going this March for my birthday and our first wedding anniversary. I know a lot of people really rate the Disney hotels. We haven't stayed in any of them in Orlando. I am sure they are fantastic, but we haven't as yet. We have managed to stay on Disney property twice at Disneyland Paris and completely rate, the service, the theming throughout. It's all as you would expect from Disney and proper Disney standard. However, we felt that for Orlando, because of what we wanted to do and all the different places we wanted to visit, we felt that iDrive would be the best option for us. Obviously that's personal opinion. We have stayed at the Rosin Inn at Point we stayed previously and we'll be staying again this time. We found that's just more convenient for us. We like to go out in the evenings, have a little explore. It's nice and easy to get to Universal as well, which is always a bonus. Again, personal option for us is that we don't choose to get a car. We were told the first time that we went that was crazy, that we couldn't do Orlando without a car. However, we've opted not to get a car again this time. Again, this is personal choice. I'm sure it's not for everybody, but we found that it's actually really quite easy to get to Disney once you know the bus routes. It does take a little bit of time, I think probably about 40 minutes from the SeaWorld area of Orlando, but it's not too bad, and I think it cost us like $4 each both ways each time we went up there, so it's not too bad really when you compare that to the parking. In terms of your park tickets, again, this is something that really depends on what you want to do. Last time we got the 14-day Disney Ultimate ticket and the Orlando Flex Plus. I believe we got the same tickets again this time. We didn't go through our travel agent this time. I would recommend shopping around for your park tickets. We managed to get our park ready tickets. I think it was from Orlando Attractions. So that's the cards already for Disney, so we can literally just go straight through the door on arrival, which is really, really good. But ultimately you're going to pay the same sort of price wherever you go, so it is just depends what you want and whether you want to just do it all as a package. That's what we did last time and it was really, really easy for us. I'd highly recommend making sure that you're comfortable with your travel agent. We have been both times we've been to Florida, but we have had some experiences in the past with travel agents that we weren't so happy with, and you need to be confident that you're getting the service that is required for something as important as this. Next one, talk to you just a little bit about planning. We didn't get a chance to plan last time we went. As I said, it was for our honeymoon, so we were a little bit preoccupied planning for the wedding. You can do Orlando without planning, but I wouldn't recommend it. We did find some days we'd wake up and, because we were deciding on a day-by-day basis, it'd then be a bit of a rush to get to where we were going for that day. So I went a bit crazy on the planning this time, and I'll just show you some little tips that we have looked at. One of the first things that I got was the Disney Little Big Book of Magic. This is really, really cool. It's got all the park maps in here, so this one's for Magic Kingdom, and it's got all the rides here, and it just folds out and it's got all of the park maps. So we've got Magic Kingdom there, we've got Epcot here, again with a little fold out park map. It's also got Hollywood Studios, again just the park maps fold out. If you are planning on focusing on Disney, one of the other nice little features of this book that I'm just trying to find for you is a suggested itinerary just there. As you would expect, it is a Disney book, so it is a very Disney focused 14-day plan, but if that's what you're looking to do, it's a really handy little resource. I mean, we found it's quite handy. This is the older version. I have requested a new one, but it has got the Downtown Disney plan as well. I think it's got some details on the golf courses as well and some little bits on the hotels and stuff. I requested this free directly from Disney. I think some travel agents may have this. There is a space for them to put their stamp on the back. But it's a good little book. I'd definitely recommend it, and I've ordered a new one so that we can take ours with us. We can tick things off as we go, which would be really, really good. One of the other things we did download was some suggested day touring plans. They were from, I think it was Undercover Agent. They were really, really good. I don't think I fully used any of them, purely because the way, like, we're not great with rides, so I kind of worked things out around what I know that we will do and what I know that we want to do, but they had some really good little touring plans on there. Certainly as a first timer, if you don't know the parks, then they'd be really, really handy. If you do know anyone that's going before you go, I'd recommend getting them to get you some park maps as well, because you can familiarise yourself with it. I certainly found planning this time a lot easier because I had a rough idea of the layout of the parks. What I did next, and I'm not suggesting this is for everybody, but this is my OCD planning kicking in, is I actually printed us out some planners here. This is kind of like the final stage before I digitalised this. I actually had some little squares with like Hollywood Studios, Magic Kingdom, and all of those, because we're quite visual, and I have one for each week, and we laid those out and we were able to just move the things around, and it worked really nicely because it wasn't a permanent fixture. I think I have got a photo of that, so if I can find it I will put that in here for you. Again, it's not something you have to do, but it's something we found really, really helpful. As you saw, I've then penned all of that onto there, and we've actually got a digital copy now so that that can go onto our phone. I definitely recommend as well, if you can, getting the My Disney Experience app. It's a really, really good app. You can manage all your fast passes on there. You can book them, I think it's 30 days ahead of your park day if you're non-Disney guests, and I think it's 60 if you are Disney guests, i.e. you're staying on Disney site. You can also book your reservations, which I believe you can do 180 days in advance. We have already booked for Be Our Guest. It was a really, really popular restaurant and really difficult to get the reservation, but I have managed to get one now, thankfully. So it's a really good little tool, and it's got the park maps and the wait time, so if you have got any Wi-Fi or internet access out there, you can keep an eye on things like that, so that's quite good. Okay, so that was just a really quick overview of how we planned this trip. If you have got any other questions, pop them down below. I'll also put links to our Instagram and Twitter. You can message me on there and I will try and answer them. I also have a couple of top tips for you. Again, these are just my opinion, but I think it's really important not to expect to be able to do everything. I think when we went out last time, we kind of allocated roughly a day in each park, and then obviously we had some days spare to go back and redo anything that we wanted to do. We still didn't do everything, and I don't think that we will have done everything after this visit either. I think set yourself some key goals, like, you know, what are your top priorities for what you want to do, because you're not going to be able to do everything. You know, and Walt Disney himself said that Disney World will never be complete. It's always changing, there's always new things on the horizon. So it's just a really good excuse to go and visit again. My other tip would be to be flexible. Obviously, as you saw, we're very organised this time, but I think you have to be ready for plans to change. You can't guarantee the weather, the wait times. Sometimes you just have to be prepared to juggle it on the spot. Obviously, if you're going as a group as well, you're going to have to be flexible with what other people want to do as well as what you want to do. So just be prepared to be flexible with it, and I think then it's not going to impact on the time you have when you're there. I'd also say make the most of the free options that are available to you. Theme parks can be really, really expensive, but there are some little free bits and pieces you can get. Again, there's lots of vlogs out there on this, so I'm not going to go into it in too much detail. But things like the passports at Epcot, which are really, really good. We didn't manage to do this last time, so it's something I'm really looking forward to doing this time. where you get the passport and you can go and get it stamped in each country, and I think some of them will write your name and things like that, so that's really cool. There's also the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom card game. Again, we didn't do this last time, but we might have to look into it this time. It sounds like that could be quite fun. Obviously, there's also free ice water and water at the fountains. So I would say take a bottle with you rather than a drink. Theme park days can get quite expensive buying drinks, especially in Orlando. You need to stay hydrated, so you are going to want to buy a lot of drinks. So certainly taking a water bottle with you is a really good way around that. And I'm sure that if you are watching vlogs on planning trips, you will have heard of the free buttons or pins. We got 2 while we were out there last year. We told them that it was our honeymoon, and we got this one first of all, which is the I'm celebrating pin. And they're really nice. It does, you know, the cast members will react to them and ask you questions. One of the cast members, I think we were actually in Downtown Disney at the time, which is now Disney Springs, asked us what we were celebrating, and we said it was our honeymoon, so she went off and found this one for us, which hopefully will focus for you, which is a really nice happily ever after one. It's a nice little keepsake, and you know, if you have got small children going or anything like that. There's some first visit ones, happy birthday, I think there's a family reunion, so it's a really nice little thing just to have as well. One of the other tips that I wish I had researched before we went last time is that you can actually have all your shopping sent to the front of the park waiting for you for the end of the day. That would have been really handy to know beforehand. There was a few things that I kind of wanted to get, but I didn't want to carry them all day, so I was like, oh, I'll go back for them later, and then I couldn't remember where I'd seen them. So it's really handy. I think they do it in all of the parks, where you can purchase your gifts there and then you just ask them to send them up to guest services at the front of the park, and then you can collect them at the end of the day. So that's a really handy little tip, I think, and certainly something that I will be using this time round. My last little tip would be just stop and take it all in. It's very easy to get lost in making sure you've got photos for all your memories or videos, but it's also really important that you just stop and take in the magic, and just really appreciate where you are. It's a really magical, wonderful place, and just stop and enjoy the moment. I hope you found that helpful. If you have any specific questions, as I said, drop them in the comments. I'll also link to our Instagram and Twitter pages. You can message us via that. And hopefully we'll have a new video for you on Monday. We're going to go to the cinema this weekend, so we're hoping to do a bit of a review for you for something a little bit different.